Alright, today, in this video, I just wanted to show you this chart for purposes of giving you guys who watch my videos just some context for how I think. I made this chart for this very purpose. It helps you guys just understand my thinking process. So every single thing I hear, see, read, especially when it comes to stuff I'm researching and studying, of course, comes right here. Falls right down into this category of uncertain. I've got to learn about it, don't know what it is, don't know whether or not it's truth. And then, of course, through my research or study, I can find out which direction it's going to go. Is it something I'm going to put under reasonable doubt? Is it questionable? Or does it go that way? Begin to move into the realm of, no, that's beyond doubt. That's probably true. And, of course, the better I can study, I've written the word context here, because that really helps out a lot to figure things out. There's so much that you cannot verify in person. You have to trust a lot of other people, trust a lot of other sources, but through reading many other sources, through cross-referencing, that's a huge, huge key, I believe, to figuring things out. The context of cross-referencing. If you have 10 different sources that you believe are highly reputable and all of them point to the same truth that, hey, this is how this is, then that's definitely within this realm, if not just past it. You're starting to move towards strong evidence. Now, of course, basically past this line, this is where it gets into you need to have empirical data. You've got to move into things that you can, if it's possible, physically, tangibly touch, things you can experiment on. And there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot of things you can use the scientific method on. Just using your mind and your eyes to observe. For instance, if people say, squirrels do a certain thing, well, you can observe squirrels yourself and see whether or not they do that thing. You can talk to other people who observe squirrels and see whether or not they've noticed the squirrels do that thing. You can watch videos online of squirrels. See what I mean? Scientific method. It's observing with your eyes, using the tools of the internet or other people, your own eyes to see something. So, scientific method is very key, and that's one of the things I've written down here is some elements that I like to use. You should be able to read them. Scientific method on the top, Occam's razor, which states that the simplest answer is often the true answer. When the impossible has been eliminated, whatever is left, however improbable, must be the truth. According to the ants, or accepting truth, I'm sorry, I can't read my own stuff. Accepting the ant's truth, perspective. That's huge, perspective. And the ant's truth is just remember that if you were, or I should say, not remember, but if you put yourself in a position of an ant in any given room, place outside, what would you see? Would you be able to see things the way we do? And this is key, especially to a Christian. We should, as a Christian, have a relationship with a very powerful being. The powerful being. The creator of the universe. His view is very different than ours. He tells us so in the Word, but I think we forget that sometimes. We are, and even an ant is a bit too big, but still, the idea is the theology here. The theology of the ant. That we have a very small perspective. So that's a key. And another one, accepting here is the bottom. Accepting how easily our minds can be programmed, fooled. Those of you who research, especially who get into conspiracy theory, you understand this. You understand this deeply. We humans, we're wired a certain way. And with a couple hundred years of modern technology and sharing of information, people have figured out humans can be programmed. They can be made to do a whole lot of things. Of course, you can see here, other side of the chart, reasonable doubt, very unlikely, untrue. And I do have a couple things written because I feel safe in believing the absolute truth. And that block, by the way, very few things go in there. I mean, basically, the three things I have written there are the things that I believe are absolute truth. And some might wonder, well, why is this here? Though you do see I have a mark here, and that's on purpose. But why is that written there, but then this is written here? And it's just, at this current time, that's where my thinking goes. That I believe that this is absolute truth. It's, for me, I can absolutely prove that the King James Version that's where God's preserved his word. Overall, though, with the Bible, I put this here, though I draw lines. In other words, I'd like to have it right over here. But from a human point of view, though you do see it's right here on the edge, from a human point of view, there are things that I can't prove, supernatural things. So from an empirical evidence point of view, I believe this has to be next to absolute truth. This is hard to explain, but of course. Maybe I shouldn't explain. I don't know. At any rate, just put it simply, that's easier to prove than this. That's what I see. Others may have different points of view. Of course, you can see God, self-existence are things that are absolute truth. Also, you'll notice the bar here, white to gray. That's just another version of this same thing. There are things that are white, absolute truths. And yeah, there are other absolute truths too. These are just some examples, but it also represents that there's not much in there. Yeah, there's some stuff in science and nature that would fit in absolute truth for sure. A good number of things. But overall, with all the things it's possible to know in life, there's not much that goes there. There's a whole lot of gray matter. And sure, this is closer to the white, things over here. But there's a lot we don't understand. And then things that are absolute lies, yeah, there's plenty of those too. But there's a whole lot of gray matter in between. That's why I did it that way. Here in the middle, what I have done is written down some argument pitfalls that I like to try and keep in mind. And some of these I'm still learning. The one on the bottom is one I feel like I've really grasped. I definitely can recognize that almost anywhere. So the first one, the nirvana fallacy. The second one, loaded questions or assumptions. Third, in-group favoritism. 4, argument from authority. 5, the law of averages. Gambler's fallacy. I couldn't read my letter there. Argument from ignorance. Weasel. Vague words. Appealing to ridicule. And that would be weasel words. But I thought that was a little vague, so I added the word in. Vague words. That's like appealing to ridicule. Argument from silence. Straw man argument. And you can take any one of those arguments there. And I'll go ahead and bring this close just so you can see it there. Oh, there, not straight. Anyways, you can take any one of those, put them in YouTube, and watch all kinds of videos explaining those. So I'll let you do that. But yeah, this is my thought process. This is how this guy thinks. So I just wanted to do a quick video on that. Well, kind of quick, 8 minutes. Hope you enjoyed. Continue to do your researching.